It's time for another weekend reading session. What am I reading this weekend? Let's see. We are reading my Kindle, which has David Lynch's biography, Room to Dream, which I have been ever so slowly working on. What else? I am reading Pandora. Hang on, let me grab it. So I have this book, Pandora, which I'm going to be working on, making headway on. I'm going to read this poetry book, Splinter of the Moon. This poetry book, The Collapsed Bookcase by my friend Chad Parento, which I just, under my publishing title, I'll leave a link in the description, published a winter zine, Gate of Dawn, which has Chad and a bunch of other people doing their poetry in it. And it also has my friend Aaron, who is called Crush Wax 1984, has bonus music in that. It's $5. Go get some. Go get some. $5. Can't go wrong on that. I'm going to try to read this poetry book too this weekend. Poems That Will Change Your Life. Sounds like a good chance. So I'm going to read a poetry book every day this weekend. I think that's good. Then I'm going to be working on that Pandora, and I'm going to be reading like at least a chapter or two every day of David Lynch's biography. But I was kind of hoping for some light reading to like get through like a kind of like an easy book. So I was kind of at least starting or working on. So I have some ideas. I have this on my monthly list, which is Colleen Hoover's It Ends With Us. So I could do that. But I did pull a couple from my shelf just in case, like, of ideas of what I could read. I could read A Good Girl's Guide to Murder. Or I think I could probably read this, knock this off in the weekend, which is Tender Is the Flesh. I know that I heard it's kind of like a really intense book. So I know it's not quite light reading. So, but it's only like 200 pages. So, it's light reading in that it's pretty short. So I could get through it in a weekend, and on top of everything else that I'm reading. So I really wanted to read it. So I heard it's a pretty solid read, and it's a pretty jarring read from what I heard. That it's about like eating people it's about like cannibalism, kind of like, Soylent Green or something. So, I might try my hand at that. So I pulled some books just to see like where I was at this weekend. And try my hand and see where we're going. So where am I going to start? Where do I want to start? I want to start with some poetry. I think I want to start with Poems That Will Change Your Life. I think I'm going to start trying to read that. I think that's where I want to start. So I read a little bit more of Room to Dream. So I'm through Mulholland Drive and The Straight Story. I haven't watched The Straight Story. I might take a break and watch that movie. That would be the last David Lynch movie I haven't seen. So at that point, I would have watched all of his filmography. I'm a little nervous to finish his filmography. That would include all of his shorts and his TV projects as well. I'll have watched everything he's made. And including his commercials. I watched everything at that point. That he's currently worked on. That's intense. That's a little obsessive. Including, like, all of his, like, home movies and his projects that he did, like, in college and stuff. Everything. Literally everything that he's made. Like, all of the stuff that he was, like, working on in college and stuff. Everything that's, like, put out publicly. I didn't see the unaired pilot of Mulholland Drive that they mentioned in Room to Dream. That had Justin Theroux in it. But I don't think that that's out publicly, like, for viewing purposes. And, like, I didn't put any, like, older versions of things. I just put out the finished products of things. But, yeah, I think I have watched everything at this point, besides Straight Story. That's intense, man. I never deep dove into anybody like this before. This is insane. Write dissertations on David Lynch. It's intense. The only thing that I haven't seen I feel like the only thing that I feel like I'm lacking is his early paintings and drawings, like the stuff that he did, like his early works. Because I've seen some of his artwork that he's done, like in the 80s and 90s. I've seen some of his paintings that he did in like the 70s. But I haven't really seen any of his, like, early paintings that he did, like, in the 60s. Or like, any of, like, the 60s, 70s paintings. I haven't seen any of, like, his art school paintings or any of that. I don't know if those are anywhere, like, available or anywhere around. Or, like, if any of those exist anymore. Or, are for sale. Anywhere, like, or online anywhere. I haven't seen any of those paintings, when he was, like, in school. But I've seen some of his, like, 70s paintings. I've seen, like, a smattering of a couple of those. A couple of paintings and works from the 80s. Mostly paintings and stuff and photographs from, like, the 90s, which seems to be, like, when he started to really work on stuff, into the 2000s, and that's kind of, like, where he's at. He doesn't have a whole lot of artwork out there that's available, that you can see. I know he has an art book that's out for purchase. I might go and purchase it. Just so I can see, like, all of the stuff. He has some lithograph prints, and I've seen some of the Adam Paris stuff. But I don't know. Like, I always look at his Instagram because I'm always, like, curious about looking more at his artwork. And, like, I loved when he would update his Instagram with all of his artwork. And I kind of want to go to Madison to see some of the stuff that he has because there's a gallery in Madison, which is just like I could take a ferry and then to go like an hour across to Madison, because apparently he had a house in Madison. But there's an art gallery that has like work and stuff there. But there was a news article that said that he has a new salon showing in Milan coming out. And I'm curious to see what kind of artwork he has coming out there. This is my obsession with David Lynch. But you know, I was curious about what kind of, because I don't really care about the movies and stuff. Don't really interest me as much as like the artwork does, because that's something that he seems to be more passionate about and that he works on more intensely than the movies, because that's something that's kind of like the underlying stuff of his life that he's always kind of like working on, and that he always said he was more of a painter than you know, a film director, and that the film directing was sort of like an extension of the paintings that he was working on. So I always kind of like give more thoughts to his artwork, because that's kind of like where it's sort of like an extension of all of the other stuff. So I'm always, and it always seems like his artwork is much more elusive to find and look at, especially like the furniture and stuff. It's so much harder to see. Like, you can't look at his artwork. Like, it's so ineffable. And I'm like it's ghostly. Like, you don't see a whole lot of it like online. Like, some people like will take photographs and stuff of it, or take video of it, but you can't really find a whole lot of it online. And it's sort of just like ghostly, which is very fascinating, because that's supposed to be what he's known for. So it's very fascinating stuff. Anyway, just a thought. Curious. So I was showing my cat what the daily number was for the David Lynch thing, and his eyes were getting really big, like really big, watching him swirl the numbers. And I had to show my cat, look. Yeah. Look, I have a jar too. I don't think he got as excited. He was like, what's that sound? I haven't done this in forever. What's the number? It's 99. Today's number is 99. All right. So I picked up It Ends With Us. And I got about a 400 page book, and I got about 70 pages into it. So it's a pretty quick read. You know, the first like 30 pages are just dialogue between the main character, Lily Blossom Bloom. What a name. Who's a gardener turned florist. Oh, you can't make this shit up. Are you kidding? With the main love interest, Ryle. What are these names? Ryle something or another. It doesn't matter. On a rooftop after her father died or whatever. Dreadful stuff. The father is abusive. She blames her mother. Hates her mother. Blames her mother for her father abusing her. And gave an anti-eulogy or whatever it's called. I don't know. It was some kind of mess or whatever. And it devolves into male gazy Ryle saying, I think you're so sexy, I wanna. And she's like, oh yeah, you love that I hate my dad. I want you too. Gotta love a man who loves girls with daddy issues. Of course. Of course. I don't understand this relationship dynamic that these two have together. He's just like, you're a mess. I love your trashy messiness. It's like, gotta love that trashiness. Gotta love that fucked upness. You are like sweet nectar. What the fuck, Ryle? Ryle, are you okay? Are you two okay? What is this relationship dynamic that you two have going on? Can you talk about toxic relationship problems? Woo! 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 What? So, I'm just like, I don't even know what's going on. They just kind of smelling each other like animals. Even my cat's like, they're smelling each other's butts. Like animals. Feeling each other out. Kind of like they're about to dry hump each other. I don't know how I feel about this book. I'm 60 pages in and I'm so confused still. Do people talk like this? I don't know. Although I did just sign up for Tinder again, and you would be surprised at the weird things that people say on Tinder. I'm just like, I don't understand. I do not understand. That's why I hate Tinder. I may delete Tinder again. I hate Tinder. Because Colleen Hoover gives us unrealistic expectations of what to expect from a partner. Really does. Especially those who have ethical, non-monogamous. ENM. The worst three letters. That you can see on a... Can we just all agree that ethically non-monogamous is like the worst three letters that you can see on somebody's profile as a single person? Because like... I mean, there's a difference, in my opinion, between being poly and being ethically non-monogamous. Isn't there? There's like there's such a difference. There is such a difference. Because poly, you're just like, to me, there's such a difference. And then there's just I'm in the age range where people are just like, I'm cheating on my wife. I'm just cheating on my wife. They straight up admit it. I haven't had sex in years and I need healing. And it's like, well, at least they're honest. Swipe left. Oh boy. Oh boy. I'm sorry this rant has evolved. I need to go to bed. I need to take my meds and go to bed. Be single. Hang out with my cat. Drink some water. Drink some water. Go to bed. Good night.